okay?
So we studied trying begging for help, begging for help. The police department couldn't even help us. After they found my baby dead, they couldn't even help us. The bastards! They couldn't even help us.
Hey, what's going on, my good people? In this video right here, I want to continue where we started and talk about some of the information that came out through Miss Teresa. Because like I said, I believe she was dropping jewels, and because of this court case, she couldn't say too much, but we had to pay attention to what she was putting out here. And there are some things that that's just not sitting right with me, and we're gonna talk about it because I promise you, I think it's gonna be a game changer for some. Come on, ride with me. Now, when Miss Teresa came out with this post right here, to me, it was a lot of information in this. And I know in that last video, we discussed outside, because I truly believe that whatever happened to Kenneka, the important parts is outside. It's not inside that hotel, it's outside. But in this post that Miss Teresa made, she said that they went to a meeting and it was stated to them that at some point Kenneka got out of Crown Plaza door. So where do y'all think that came from? So I'm wondering, was this a meeting with the police? A meeting with Crown Plaza? To me, it was a meeting with some important people in this case, and it was stated to her, Kenneka's mother, that at some point she made it outside of Crown Plaza. That's a big deal to me. And then, so they're wanting to know, well, how did she get back in there? How did she end up in y'all freezer if she made it outside? And that's the question. They have to answer. As far as I'm concerned, they got to answer that. But at the beginning of this post, she said that, and I've highlighted this before, she said that there was an employee in the kitchen with Kenneka for 2 hours or so. That employee came out, Kenneka didn't. And then 10 minutes later, another employee came in and found Kenneka. This right here was loaded, as far as I'm concerned. It was loaded because she's telling us that there's 2 employees involved with this situation right here that she know of, okay? And then remember I gave y'all the order that this came in. And so if you pay attention to this video, we had Kenneka come in, and it's never looked right to me because it looked like when she cut this corner, yeah, something's not right with this. But this is the order that they told us as far as the people in the kitchen. And like I said, we had Kenneka first, then we had the maintenance guy at about 8:30. Y'all saw him. 8:30 p.m. This is him. He comes and goes. Remember, he got the call about somebody leaving some shit in the pool. He leaves. That was at 8:30. The next person that comes in, y'all know. Y'all know what it is. Him. Now, I've always had a problem with his route. Remember, I was like, why he walk all the way around like that? That was just a detail that stood out to me, right? It's like he didn't take the quicker route to the freezer. That bothered me. And then the fact that when they asked him about that light being on in that freezer, he couldn't tell them whether the lights were on or off. That never sat right with me. This post made by Teresa told us that there was 2 employees, 2 separate employees involved in this. And it may explain why the beverage manager was able to go straight to the freezer. We've been saying that for years. For years. And years ago, I told y'all, to me, it was one of 3 reasons. Either he was the one who put her in there, 2, he saw who put her in there, or 3, somebody told him she was in there. To me, I couldn't see it no other way. Based off of the footage that they gave us, if we apply this information, That means that we should have seen someone on that footage in that kosher kitchen right before the beverage manager. We should have. Miss Teresa said this person was back there for about 2 hours. And then within 10 minutes, one was leaving and the other one was coming in. So why we don't see nobody else on that footage? That's a problem. Were they edited out? Are we talking about the right area? Yeah. Come on, y'all. We still rag. In another Facebook post, Teresa told us that Kenneka allegedly was found at 10:14. And she said before and after this time, she didn't hear no ambulances, no sirens, nothing. But she believes that her daughter was found at about 10:14. And it goes back to what she said in the other post, where she was like, somebody was back there with her daughter for 2 hours, which would have took it back to about 10:30. So she's very specific about this time. And not only that, it said in the lawyer's reports, I believe it's like page 7, item number 33. It says that at 10:30, an employee went into the aforesaid kitchen and failed to discover Kenneka. And again, I showed y'all the footage. I showed y'all the order. We see absolutely no one enter that kitchen at 10:30. Not a one. I wonder why.
These photographs first of all show this is the construction site into the kitchen, and this was taken after her body was found, but there's clearly the ability to lock the entire kitchen off, and this was taken by a member of the family. However, what's most concerning also is that the freezer door has a lock on it. This is a lock that you can prevent somebody from the inside from getting out if it's pressed. And we believe that it's very possible that this door, for reasons that we cannot explain, without ever looking in the freezer, someone came and locked this freezer door so that Kenneka could not exit the door.
Mr. Pharaoh, could you explain that mechanism on the freezer again?
Sure. This is right here is a lock. It can be pressed down and it can secure the door, preventing anybody from the inside from exiting.
Yeah. Now, this is the freezer that he showed us. Blew the whole picture up to show us. And if you notice, the door handle, he described the mechanism on the door that locks it. And there's a little black button right there that you press. Okay? Then to the right, there's like a black plate. Nothing's there. May have been a switch there at one point. I don't even know. But there's a black plate. But then to your left, in the top left-hand corner of this photo, you see what looked like may have been a window on this door. Now, this is the freezer that they told us she was found in. You see the differences? No black plate, no window. The handle is clearly different. There's no black button to lock it. And this right here is a side-by-side. And it's clear that we're speaking about two different freezers. Now, let me tell y'all the problem that I have with this. If this is evidence in the case, how in the world did the lawyer get the freezer door wrong? I don't think he did. And if he did, he needs to clear this up, because this is a big problem, very big problem. Because if we're talking two different freezer doors, then we're talking two different areas.
Why, of course, people are going to speak up on something they don't know about.
Okay.
It ain't nothing no one can say to me that can hurt me more than me losing my child. So everything they saying is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Unless they can show me that camera that was on top of that freezer, then I'm gonna listen. Why, of course I watch. But I'm not falling into it. See, they wasn't there to see this camera that was directly on top of this freezer. I know this. That's why, okay, it's good to look at the theories because, hey, the hotel wasn't, or the police, the Rosemont Police Department wasn't giving us anything. My attorney study asking them for it, happened to go to court to subpoena these records, and we're still not getting them off.
Yeah. Now listen, I'm Team Teresa. I don't care what nobody say. But I promise y'all, the one issue that I had with her was the whole situation about the camera above the freezer. Because based off of what they showed us, there was no camera up there. They had us running around thinking somebody took the camera down. Looking silly. But she was adamant from the very beginning that she saw a camera directly above the freezer. And not only that, she said that camera should have captured her daughter coming and going. So from the front and the back. But we didn't see Kenneka from the front. We only saw her from the back, headed toward the freezer area. Okay? And like I said, my biggest issue with Miss Teresa was this whole thing about the cameras. The camera above the freezer. But understand this. This was my argument. Based off of where that freezer sat, it didn't make sense to put a camera above that freezer. Because the one camera that they showed us, the one that captured Kenneka, would catch everything coming and going out the area, the kosher kitchen. So to me, it didn't make sense to put a camera there. But again, Miss Teresa was adamant about there being a camera above the freezer. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Now, I believe her. I believe wherever they took her to see her daughter, there was a camera above that freezer. So I said all of that to say this. I feel like this whole kitchen area was like an illusion. And that's probably why, we couldn't figure out the whole thing about the cup. We were still wondering why the police didn't take the cup. I mean, it was clearly part of a crime scene, but they didn't take it. So we just thought, but I got a feeling that this whole kitchen area is an illusion. Now, I know some of y'all may remember Mr. Jackie Dragon. He did a whole series on the Pharaoh scan that Rosemont gave us. And first and foremost, I was like, I didn't even understand why they even gave us the Pharaoh scan. But they did. He did a whole series on this. Man, if y'all haven't seen this series, you have to go watch it. And I tell everybody that I talk to, they have to watch this Pharaoh scan. You have to watch those videos. It's 4 parts. And what he uncovered, I mean, it was like an alarm, like a light bulb went off. Now, I'm going to play a few parts from his videos. And I'm hoping it shows y'all, it proves my point. But if you riding with me, you have to go watch those in its entirety. So you'll get a better understanding of what I'm trying to show you. But I'm hoping I show you enough in this video where you'll understand where I'm going with this. We still riding.
You will first see the Pharaoh video screenshot. Then the Pharaoh program screenshot. Now there is a side-by-side. I then show zoomed in and side-by-side the differences between the Pharaoh video screenshot and the Pharaoh program screenshot you just saw. Please keep in mind, the shots are not exact. The video could see angles I could not in the Pharaoh program, so I got as close as shot as I could.
During this series, Mr. Jackie Dragon spoke a lot about the cooler and freezer area. I want y'all to pay attention to this. Again, Mr. Jackie Dragon did a beautiful job with these videos. And he touched on many things in that kosher kitchen. That's why I'm saying y'all have to watch it. Because he covered a lot. But I want y'all to hear his conclusion based off of his findings. Pay attention.
Maybe it was the position of the other kitchens they tried to hide. This is the same kitchen cupboard, or whatever it is, at two different angles. Which shows that two scan positions caught the cupboard in the same orientation, from different angles. Impossible to do. I can understand tidying up a scene, but to add and remove things that were not in the original Pharaoh scan video is devious and deceptive in nature, a recurring theme found throughout Kenneka's case files. The edits to the Pharaoh program is undeniable proof that the police were heavily involved in the cover-up of Kenneka's death. Going by the scans, they have deliberately done the freezer and cooler separately. This could only mean the freezer and cooler is not where they show us they are. What they have hidden and taken away from the crime scene, like the other kitchens, would show us that the freezer and cooler are elsewhere in the hotel.
Yeah. In my mind, this explains a lot. And most importantly for me, it may have something to do with the whole situation about her hair. Because when we see her walking toward that freezer area, her hair is straight. But then we all know how she looked when they gave us those photos of her in the freezer. Her hair was curly. So it was like it jumped from one hairstyle to another. There's something going on in between there. That's why I feel like all of this was an illusion. And not only that, it may explain why when we see the beverage manager go in there, he take the long route around. And I thought maybe something was right there. Maybe something was edited out of the footage that was right there where they couldn't take that path. But what if they're going to a totally different area? I've been telling y'all for years that I did not trust the background, the scenery, and I still don't. And I have every right to feel that way. Now, I do believe that's Kenneka we saw, where they added her in the hallways, added her in the kosher kitchen. I believe that's who we saw because her mother said that was her. I just don't believe the areas that they wanted us to believe she was in. I don't believe that. And it makes me think about that video. Remember the video that they said Monifa sent to Irene? I never understood this, but I felt like this was huge to the case. Because this person right here, we don't know who this is. We don't know where they're going. We don't know where they at. But this was a video that was sent to Irene. Now, I know in the beginning, we use words like overlaid and, being superimposed because a lot of us felt like that's what was going on. And that's why I put that video together about the overlay with Kenneka in the hallways, and I laid it on top of the dock area. And because to me, that's how I saw it. I didn't picture her in those halls. That never made sense to me. And that's why, I gave a lot of respect to those who was digging in the footage because I always felt like the truth was hidden in the footage. So when we came down to the glitches and the shadow men and things like that, I believed it. And that's why I gave a lot of respect to those who covered that angle of the case. We had a few of my faves, Humongous D, Leave No Witness, Beach Beauty, people that were able to pull out things within this footage that just didn't make sense. But we couldn't overlook it. A lot of people started to overlook that, and you couldn't for this very reason. And it's been like that for a very long time. That's why it's been hard for us to try to figure out exactly what happened, because things are not what they appear to be. I've been saying it. And understand this, if they went that far to alter the footage, you can't tell me they did not alter the statements, because you couldn't edit one without editing the other. That was the only way they were going to be able to pull this off. And they did what they set out to do. confuse the masses. Come on, y'all. Let's talk about it.